the first segment, we were ESPN's summer forecast has the Kings as the number 12 seed in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not where I would pick them to finish.
No.
I think when you start getting into, I'm also not going to predict them to finish in the top 8. At least I don't think. I got to see how the rest of the summer shakes out, or the preseason shakes out. But I probably won't have them in the top 8. And the thing is, and I guess the problem is when you start getting down to 9, 10, 11, 12, I think it's kind of nitpicky.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're getting into, okay, those teams are going to be separated by, what were they separated by last year? 9 through 12 were separated by 4 games. And that could be an injury. That could be
a white flag.
A team punting at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a weird bounce of the ball. Kawhi Leonard's hook shot falls in instead of bouncing out. Like that's 4 wins between 9 and 12 is just kind of on the margins to me. And so after the 23-24 season, where all the national pundits predicted the Kings to take a step back, and then last year where people largely did the same, and I went, nope. I'm just like, all right, I don't agree, but I'm not gonna be indignant in pushing back about it because I know how and why people get there.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if I look at the Western Conference standings from last season, there's OKC who's at 68 wins. They're all the way at the top of the Empire State Building, and then like the middle floors is 7 teams. Like you talk about the 4-game difference between between 9 and 13, or 9 and 13. Well, there's the second place team was the Houston Rockets at 52 wins.
Yeah.
And the 8th place team was Memphis at 48 wins.
So there's so crazy.
There's 7 teams that are lumped together within 4 games, right? And then you go down to the next step, and it's another cliff. There's an 8-game difference between Memphis at number 8 and the Kings at number 9. But there's only a 6-game difference between the Kings at number 9 and the Spurs at number 13. So the Western Conference is lumped into 4 categories. Your one superstar team, and there might be another team that takes a leap and gets up there like Cleveland did last year, right? Then you have this giant middle.
You're doing tears.
I'm doing tears. I'm stealing Kyle's bit. Then there's this third tier, which is the teams that are fighting for the play-in / they don't really want to win teams. And then there's the dregs down below. So I think it's really interesting how I would expect the Western Conference to look where, the Pelicans and the Jazz finished with 21 and 17 wins last year. They were 13 games. The Pelicans were 13 games behind the Spurs. But I expect there to be something very similar to this, where there's 2 teams at the bottom, 2 teams at the top, 6 teams in the middle, and then 4 or 5 or 6 teams that are fighting to try to get up to that middle spot. But there's a huge difference between a 40-win team and a 48-win team. And that's where the Kings, how do you make that leap? And how do you make that leap with, I don't know, what did you add that would make you think that a leap is coming? So that's where it gets tough.
Yeah, man. And this gets a little bit to this Kings would you rather that I've been kicking around.
Yeah.
And this goes to, I want to phrase this way, and I would love for everybody to chime in, whether you're in the chatty house or if you want to give us a call at 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. That is the Elk Grove Kia Talk line. We can only have one person on hold at a time, so if you call and you hear us talking, you're good. If it just keeps ringing, hang in there. I promise. So I'm going to phrase it this way, because I think the idea of, I don't want to talk about tanking, because the Kings are not going to do that very clearly,
barring a major injury.
Yeah, going into the year, injuries change things. We've talked about that beginning of their schedule. If they start 12-3 in their first 15, that changes the calculus. If they start 3-12, that changes the calculus.
Yes.
I think Kenny's right. I think they're going to try and win as many games as possible.
Yeah.
And they'll figure out the end goal of this season as they go along. Right now, I think they want to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If they start 3-12 in their first 15 games, I think that changes. So I want to phrase it this way. Would you rather the Kings make the playoffs? So this is scenario 1.
Okay.
You have to pick 1 or 2. Scenario 1 is the Kings make the playoffs, but Nick Clifford, and I'm even going to say, do I want to? Okay, we can. I can. There's a stipulation there, but I'll hold off. Kings make the playoffs. Rookies unplayable. Nick Clifford not impactful. Maxime Reynaud spends a bunch of time in Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
Not NBA players, at least not yet. They look like Colby Jones-ish.
Okay.
Or the Kings miss the playoffs, but Nick Clifford wins Rookie of the Year and Maxime Reynaud is a rotation guy. By the time the season ends.
Okay, so this is a tough question because
and by miss the playoffs, I'm gonna say like let's say 12 seed, so 35-ish wins.
Okay, 33.
Yeah, they're not 20-62.
33 to 36 wins or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's tough because what I would want to know is Nick Clifford a rotational player on a good team, or is he a rotational player on a team that just wasn't good enough?
Mm-hmm.
And that's always going to be like okay, if you think you got something here, and we'll be able to see it like right away. Like when I watched Nick Clifford in Summer League, don't get this wrong. Don't overanalyze what I'm about to say it.
Say it.
When I watched him play, my instant thought was the last player I saw who gets it like that was Tyrese Halliburton. You understand what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm being silly with the sounds. But I'm with you.
We didn't discuss this before, but you knew what I was going to say, right?
Well, I knew you were going to pick some very good player because you see, like, just go back and watch. I'm going to, again, not that Nick is going to reach this level, but go watch any good player play in go watch Steph Curry play in Summer League.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 2009.
You see it. It's just for a second.
It's like, oh, that guy just gets the game a little bit better than everybody else on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going to FanFest when Jason Williams stepped on the court, and we're like, again, Jason Williams had been kicked out of Florida. Mm-hmm. Like he was a very questionable pick at number 7, and people are like, okay, hey, this kid's got a bunch of talent, but who knows? Like, there's a bunch of problems as well. Mm-hmm. The FanFest, he started slinging passes, and everybody in the whole entire building was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm watching this. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that Sacramento Kings fans are going to get to see this on their court for the next couple of years. Like, this kid is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't get that sense where it's like, oh, superstar. What I got was, oh man, Nick Clifford gets it. And the second Tyrese Halliburton stepped on the court, you're like, oh, dude gets it.
Yep.
He understands the game of basketball and he's in it. Mm-hmm. Like, you can see a player who's in it, as opposed to somebody who is learning or, developmental guy. You're like, oh.
To get the difference. And this goes beyond putting up stats.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of players who have gone and put up stats in Summer League and then not done anything in the NBA. Mm-hmm. It's the little things. It's how his role changed, and he changed his play style based on whatever role he had in that specific game.
Yep.
It's his ability to have an impact even when his shot isn't falling. That matters. I bring this example up all the time, but I'm going to do it again, just in case anybody hasn't heard it. Go watch James Wiseman play in NBA games. That is a very talented person and player.
Yeah.
Who does not understand basketball.
Yep.
And there's just an inherent instinct that you see good to great players have. There's just a feel. Young Kevin Garnett, because the whole thing, when I was at 95.7, James Wiseman was the number 2 overall pick. Mm-hmm. And he got compared to every good big under the sun. Mark Spears, Hall of Famer, got on the radio and said he is a combination of Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett.
Oh,
So you go watch James Wiseman play, and it's like, okay, what did young KG look like? And then you go watch young KG, and it's like, oh, that guy just got it on day one.
Oh, yeah.
Again, he wasn't prime KG yet, but you could just see in the way he moved, in the way he moves offensively, defensively, where he gets on the floor, what he does with the basketball once it's in his hands, the decision making. Again, it's not going to be perfect night in and night out, but there is an inherent it that some players have. And what I saw from Nate Clifford, and I think you agree with me.
Yeah.
When he stepped on the court in Summer League, it was like, oh, he's got it. Like we got to see how it translates in the NBA.
We don't know to what level,
of course,
but there's a competent rotational NBA player with a higher ceiling than we thought before.
I believe so.
Yeah, and like I think it's interesting because like Keegan Murray stepped on the court, you're like, oh, Keegan gets it. Like right away, you're like, oh yeah, Keegan's gonna be just fine. He's not going to be a bust at number 4, right? So you're like, okay, this is at least he's going to be a starter, not just like a potential rotational player. No, he's a long-term starter. He's a day one starter on an NBA team, and we talked about this the other day. Probably on like 25 NBA teams, he's a like day one starter still. Yeah, I mean he's that good of a player.
Oh,
Keegan.
Oh God. Okay.
No.
I mean, I thought you were talking about Nate Clifford. I was
Keegan. No, Keegan.
Okay, got it. I missed the Keegan of it.
No.
Okay.
Keegan can go start on
almost
every team in the league because he fits multiple roles, multiple positions. Yeah. Like he gets it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, then you get other players, and right away you're like, oh boy, like right away you're okay. Like somebody's gonna have to work really, really hard. The player's gonna have to work hard, but also the coaching staff is going to have to work so incredibly hard to get this guy to the next level. And again, it helps when you're a franchise who's bringing 1 or 2 young players in at a time and trying to work with them, right? As opposed to like when the Kings in 2017 brought in 5 rookies and they had 4 rookies from the year before, and now you have 9 young players. Like half of those guys got lost in the shuffle because of the situation.
Right.
Like you can't have enough developmental coaches to work with all these kids and to like get them to the next level. And the other problem is that, you put 2 of them together on the court and you're like, oh boy, that's a bad combo. So you try a different 2 and then a different 2. And you just keep running into the fact that, it would be so much easier if you had one Harrison Barnes that knew what he was doing and whether he's great or not, or just like an NBA average player, but a solid NBA player. You put him next to any one of those players, they're going to look much better than they do together as 2 young players. And when you start to multiply that, and all of a sudden you've got 9 guys who don't really know what they're doing on the court, and then one guy, well, I'd say like probably 7 of them really didn't know what they were doing. Bogdanovich knew exactly what he was doing, and De'Aaron Fox by beginning of year 2 knew exactly what he was doing. The rest of them, like, all right, whatever.
Right.
So it's just really tough to develop players. But now we're talking about, a late first round pick, an early second round pick. I don't think we're talking about 2 players that the Kings are going to, if they're not ready, if they're not going to play well, the Kings aren't going to wait for them to develop this season. They're going to keep playing the veterans. You've got to be able to step on the court and be competent. And that's where I think Nate Clifford has a huge leg up on even Reynaud. He's got a huge leg up on Reynaud because you can envision him in a rotation automatically. You see the shell of a player with Reynaud, but you're also like, hey man, you can't get pushed around by a 6'11", 212-pound dude who just like is all skin and bones and just shoved you all over the court. That's not going to work. So
yeah. That's what I don't think the Kings can even make the playoffs without Clifford and or Reynaud being like really quality rotation players. Preferably both, but I think they need at least one of them to be good out of the gate if they're going to be that good. But I hate to harp on this, but I don't know, man. This is just the way I know that not everybody views the sport this way, and that's fine. I almost feel like, let's say the Kings are the 7 seed, right? Because then you host the first play-in game. Let's say they're the 7 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State falls off. Memphis isn't very good. The Spurs don't make a leap. I don't know. The Clippers have a bunch of guys get hurt. Kings wind up as a 7 seed. Okay. And they win their play-in game and they go to the playoffs as a 7 seed. My biggest concern with that, and again, I'm saying this now in September. If the Kings are the 7 seed, we're going to have a great damn time on this show this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like it would be awesome.
Yep.
Just to see that for the city would be amazing. I don't want that to get lost. When you're having the discussion we're having about what does this look like long term,
yeah,
which is the conversation we typically have, I almost feel like that would be a bad thing because it's proof of a concept that I think has a very, very minimal ceiling on it.
Okay, I agree with that 100%. I think the good thing about it is that it's proof of a concept that nobody here in Sacramento currently believes is going to be a long-term concept. It's something that
everyone?
Well, maybe not everyone, but a good portion of the basketball people understand that this is I don't want to call it a gap year, because I actually think that next season is a gap year. But this is a season where you're trying to get through it. You're trying to get established. You're trying to, like, we keep hearing this identity thing. And then my retort is like, okay, it's fine. You want to have an identity, but how do you have an identity when, like, 7 of the players that are on the floor creating this identity won't be here when the whole thing is done?
Mm-hmm.
So that's always going to be like the confusing part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that there is, you'll hear this from Scott. You'll hear it from Doug. It'll be like day one of media day, very specifically. I know this because I've already heard it from both of them. Like, when we get done with this season, we want everyone to know what Kings basketball looks like and feels like. There's going to be a quality of play, a physicality to the play, a defensive mindset that we will be able to carry over from one season to the next, because that's who we're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you look back at the early 2000s Kings with Doug Christie on that team, and that's not who they were as a team, but what we know their identity. Their identity was watching some of the most beautiful basketball we've ever seen in the history of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like the moving, the cutting, the playing off each other, the symbiotic relationship between one player to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was such beautiful basketball. I don't know that we've seen that style of basketball to that level since.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to be able to modernize that and have it in this year's NBA. And I don't know how easy that's going to be.
Yeah, for sure.